him go now! He's my son!
Ma'am, we can't just let him go. He's a suspect.
Imagine stopping for a soda after basketball practice and ending up face down on a police car because of the color of your skin. That's what happened one humid night in Ridgway, Georgia, when 16-year-old Jalen Carter, a quiet black teen, crossed paths with two officers who saw threat instead of innocence. The humid Georgia night hung thick as Jalen Carter, a 16-year-old black teen, stepped into the small Ridgway gas station after basketball practice. Sweat clung to his jersey, his sneakers squeaking softly across the linoleum floor. He only wanted a soda before heading home. The store bell jingled above him, the cool air conditioning washing over his tired face. "Evening, Mr. Dalton," Jalen said, nodding to the older white man behind the counter. Henry Dalton looked up from his newspaper and smiled. "How was practice, son?" "Good," Jalen replied, opening the cooler door and grabbing a Sprite. He sent a quick text to his mom. "Be home in 10. Want anything?" Her reply came seconds later. "Just you, safe and sound." That simple message made him grin. He grabbed a bag of chips and turned toward the counter when red and blue lights cut across the windows. Tires crunched on gravel outside. His stomach tightened. His mom had taught him what that feeling meant. Keep calm. Be polite. Remember your rights. The bell chimed again. Two white officers walked in, Deputy Reed Lawson and Officer Todd Myers. Lawson's hand already rested on his holster. His eyes locked onto Jalen with something colder than suspicion. "Got a report of a robbery a few blocks away," Lawson said. His smirk widened. "Suspect's a young black male about 6 feet tall." "Well, what do we have here?" "I'm just getting a drink, sir," Jalen said steadily. "Coming from basketball practice." "Sure you are, boy." Lawson circled him like a shark. "Empty your pockets." "I haven't done anything wrong," Jalen answered quietly, still holding his Sprite and chips. "Ask Mr. Dalton. I'm a regular here." Henry shifted uneasily. "Officers, the kid's fine. He comes in every night after practice." "Empty your pockets now," Lawson barked. Officer Myers stepped to block the door, nervous but silent. Jalen obeyed. He laid everything on a shelf, his wallet, phone, keys, basketball keychain. "See? Nothing, sir." "Oh, you think you're smart?" Lawson snapped, grabbing Jalen's arm hard. "Outside, now!" "Wait, please," Jalen protested, looking toward Mr. Dalton. But Lawson was already dragging him through the door, his grip iron tight. Have you ever witnessed racism or police brutality in 2025 and wondered how much longer people still have to fight to be treated as human? Before we go any further, what city or country are you watching from right now? Drop it in the comments below. We love seeing where our viewers are tuning in from. And if you believe no one should ever suffer because of the color of their skin, smash that like button and subscribe to Story Arc, because justice only lives when people refuse to look away. "Mr. Dalton," Jalen called over his shoulder, voice trembling. "Please, call my mom." The hot night air slammed into Jalen as the officers dragged him outside. The parking lot lights glared down, making the scene feel like a stage. Lawson shoved him against the hood of the patrol car, the metal still warm from the day's heat. "Spread him!" Lawson barked. "I'm not resisting!" Jalen cried, his voice cracking. "Please, I haven't done anything." But his words didn't matter. A small crowd had started to gather. Tasha Green, a nurse still in her blue hospital scrubs, pulled out her phone and began recording. Her hands trembled as she aimed the camera, fury etched on her face. "Stop moving," Lawson shouted. "I'm not," Jalen gasped, but before he could say more, pain exploded through his side. Lawson's fist slammed into his kidney. His knees buckled. "He's resisting!" Officer Myers called, his voice uncertain, his stance rigid. Electricity ripped through Jalen's body as the taser prongs hit. He screamed, collapsing onto the rough concrete, his cheek scraping against gravel. Tears and blood mixed as he choked out the only word he could manage. "Mama!" Lawson pressed a knee into his back, forcing the cuffs on tighter. "Shut up, boy. Crying for your mama now?" he sneered. Tasha's voice cut through the chaos. "This is wrong. He's just a kid." "Back up," Myers barked. "Police business." Henry Dalton stood frozen in the gas station doorway, gripping the frame so hard his knuckles whitened. He wanted to help, to shout, but decades of fear held him still. His eyes filled with shame as he watched them beat the boy he saw every day. When they finally yanked Jalen to his feet, blood streaked his chin. His jersey, the one his mother had saved up to buy, was torn and filthy. They shoved him into the backseat of the cruiser like he was trash. Through the window, Jalen caught a glimpse of Tasha still filming, her jaw clenched in anger. Henry shook his head slowly. They just made the biggest mistake of their damn lives, he muttered. The patrol car's lights flashed as it sped away into the Georgia night. Tasha looked down at her phone, the red recording light still blinking. Her finger hovered over the upload button. The wail of sirens faded into the humid night as the patrol car disappeared, carrying away a beaten black teen whose only crime was stopping for a soda. Miles away, in her quiet Brookhaven apartment, FBI Special Agent Renee Carter, Jalen's mother, sat surrounded by stacks of paperwork. Case files lay open across her desk, the results of months spent investigating police corruption in nearby counties. Her laptop hummed softly, a mug of cold coffee untouched beside her. Her phone buzzed again. She ignored it. It had been ringing nonstop for 20 minutes, but she wanted to finish her report before midnight. Then it buzzed harder, rattling against the desk. 12 missed calls, 23 text messages, one link pinned at the top, police brutality in Ridgeway. Her heart stopped. Ridgeway, that's where Jalen was. Her hands shook as she clicked the link. The video loaded slowly, grainy at first, then sharp and clear. Renee's breath hitched. The coffee mug slipped from her hand, shattering on the hardwood floor. On screen, her son was slammed against a police car, crying out for her. No, she whispered. Every sound in the video felt like a knife. Jalen's terrified voice, the officer's mocking laughter, the sickening crack when he hit the pavement. When the taser hit him, Renee's hand flew to her mouth, her vision blurred with tears. By the time the video ended, she was already moving, muscle memory taking over. She opened the gun safe, her hands steady now despite the storm inside her. She holstered her sidearm, grabbed her badge, and snatched her car keys off the hook. Her mind raced, cold and focused. She replayed her son's cries, each one stoking the fire in her chest. The elevator was too slow. She took the stairs 3 at a time, her boots pounding against concrete. The moment she hit the parking garage, her black FBI-issued SUV chirped as it unlocked. She climbed in, slammed the door, and started the engine. "Hold on, baby," she muttered, sirens already in her mind. "Mama's coming." The engine roared, tires screeching as she peeled out of the garage. It would take her 2 hours to reach Ridgeway. Too long, but she would make every second count. The highway stretched ahead, black and endless. Renee's hands gripped the steering wheel so tightly her knuckles turned white. 2 hours felt like 2 lifetimes. Her mind replayed every lesson she'd ever drilled into Jalen: how to speak calmly, where to keep his hands, how to stay alive. She had taught him to survive encounters like this, but she'd never imagined it would come to this night. The thought of him alone, terrified, broke something deep inside her. "Keep it together," she muttered, weaving through late-night traffic with sirens flashing. "Think like an agent." Her instincts kicked in. Between clenched teeth, she began making calls, first to her supervisor, leaving a sharp, factual message. "This is Agent Renee Carter. My son, Jalen Carter, was just assaulted by Ridgeway police officers. Evidence circulating online. I'm heading there now." Next, she called her lawyer, then the Civil Rights Division. Each message was clipped, calm, professional, masking the fire beneath. The Ridgeway Police Department came into view just before midnight, a squat brick building, its sign flickering under a weak streetlight. She parked directly in front, leaving her emergency lights flashing red and blue. Inside, a young desk officer barely looked up from his paperwork. "Can I help you, ma'am?" Renee's voice was controlled silk. "I'm here for Jalen Carter. You have my son in custody." He sighed. "Visiting hours are over. Come back tomorrow to post bail." Renee placed her FBI badge on the counter on her with a sharp snap. "I'm not here to visit," she said coldly. "I'm here to take my son home. Now!" The gold badge caught the light, glinting with authority. The entire room froze. Conversations died. Phones went silent. The officer's face drained of color. I'll get the chief," he stammered, hurrying away. Renee stood still, counting her breaths. Her trained eyes scanned the station, the nameplates on desks, the security cameras in each corner, the folders hastily pushed aside. Everything could become evidence. Moments later, Chief Raymond Holt appeared, all-pressed uniform and false charm. His smile was tight, his tone dripping with condescension. "Agent Carter," he drawled. "What a surprise. I wasn't aware the Bureau had an interest in local matters." "Where is my son?" she demanded, her voice cold enough to cut glass. Chief Holt's expression barely flickered, but there was a glint of unease behind his forced smile. "Now, ma'am," he said smoothly, "your boy was caught up in a robbery investigation?" Matched the description perfectly. When our officers tried to question him, he got combative. Renee's voice was steady but ice cold. "I saw the video, Chief. My son never fought back. I want the body cam footage. Now." Holt's jaw tensed. "Unfortunately," he said, spreading his hands, "there seems to be some technical difficulty with those files. Equipment malfunction, you understand?" Renee raised an eyebrow. "Both cameras malfunctioned at the same time?" "That's right," Holt said quickly. "These things happen." Her laugh came sharp and bitter. "Quite a coincidence, don't you think?" He forced another smile, pretending calm. "I'm sure once everything's sorted out—" "My son. Now." Her tone cut through him like a blade. Something in her eyes made him step back. He nodded at a deputy who scurried off to fetch the keys. Renee followed them down the dim hallway to the holding cells. The stench of bleach and sweat filled the air. Metal doors clanged as they passed. At the far end, she saw Jalen, sitting hunched on a steel bench, his tall black frame folded in on itself, his head down. Dried blood streaked his lip and nose. The jersey she'd saved 3 months to buy him was ruined, ripped, dirty, unrecognizable. The deputy unlocked the cell. The door creaked open. Renee stepped inside, kneeling before her son. She lifted his chin gently, her thumb brushing the bruises on his face. "You're safe now, baby," she whispered, voice trembling but firm. "They have no idea who they just messed with." She helped him to his feet and led him out of the station, the hallways silent as officers avoided her gaze. What none of them knew was that Jalen had been recording from the very start. The wristwatch Renee had given him, her safety button, had captured every word, every blow. The next day, federal agents stormed Ridgeway PD. The watch's audio matched bystander footage and gas station security videos perfectly. The officers who brutalized Jalen and Chief Holt, who lied about the body cams, were arrested. They had tried to delete the truth, but the truth had recorded them. If you believe that in 2025, racism and police brutality should already be a thing of the past, smash that like button and subscribe to Story Arc for stories that remind the world the camera never blinks. And neither should we.